and that could be the linchpin on this deal.
And that's what she said. Because she was, when I got there, she was like, why do we have to have a Zoom? Why do we have to have a face-to-face? I said, well, you know, that's what sets us apart. We're not an investor and we're not here to buy your home. We're here to partner with you. We are a family. This is a long-time partnership. And we want to make sure that both parties leave here satisfied. And she said, okay, all right.
Sweet music. I love it. So
so the turning point was you giving her what she wanted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we still haven't told her how we were going to give it to her. She just hooked on the number.
The 190, you know, we gonna figure it out. You've built them relationships from going out there, stepping out there with like Shafe done, going to the auction and having your power statement ready and knowing how to talk to people and let them know who you are, what you do, who you help, how you help them, and what you help them with. And they were impressed by that, so they're willing to give you some damn money. So we know we got some money to mess with, to play with, especially on a great deal. So
she still had my brochure and my business card on the table, like from yesterday. Like didn't move it, like legitly to have the number and everything. It was still
really.
Yeah,
well, she likes you. She likes you too. Now, so this was a hell of a conversation, guys. You guys will want to watch this too now. And there's some, you know, it's boring in some ways, but understanding that the boring things were what allowed me to lead the way to get her to what she wanted, and to understand that, though, to understand it. And I mean, that was a scientific call. Dominique, before I pulled up that pipe with the hot water heater, I texted Jerry. I said, Jerry, watch this. Because she was talking about them pipes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what though? She was, in her mind, she was primed and ready for every situation to explain. Well, I have an explanation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. You notice she got real talkative when he left.
Yes.
She wasn't. That's
her body language changed and everything.
She's super cool to talk to. She'll give you everything you need to know by herself.
Very true. That was God again.
Shoes off and was like,
That was God. Really? I mean, I really truly believe that, because the husband got a phone call while we were there. The son needed some help with a flood in his storage unit or something. So he ended up leaving. And from there, it was on. Jerry even texted me talking about, she wants to talk now. So I brought all that up though for you guys. Look at all the kids. In the I love it. They hearing all this good game too. They're seeing all this entrepreneurship. I love it. Okay. So anyway, that, you know, we've had a lot going on this week with dealing with prospects, situations that students have brought to the table. Look at Jerry over there. Jerry like, oh my God, y'all working me to death, but he loves it. This first time I seen Jerry without a fade. I'm like, yeah, you out in the field. I like when that hair grows out. Yeah. You all right, brother?
That Vida Sassoon.
So understanding, guys, that what we do, how we do it, is different from everyone else. But the key, guys, is one, you're not slapping them in the face with what you want. You cannot lead with that. I keep trying to ingrain this in everybody. You can't lead with it. We have to lead with, well, one, establishing some sort of rapport. Now, if you guys can't tell, I always, damn near always, pretty much 99.9% of the time, I use self-deprecating humor. Always. I mean, it's just the easy way to do it. I guess I'm taking the easy way out, if you will. I'll make a joke about myself. Or I'll shoot a shot like I did with Dominique's prospect. You know, I shot a shot at the husband like, well, we know who the boss is. And hey, I understand because I got a boss too, right? You know, type of stuff. It just breaks the ice. It warms you up. But we lead with asking about their situation, asking about, you know, their pain, and asking about that in the way that you're taught, it will then just take you on that path to where you need to be and the things that you need to talk about along the way. And it makes the conversation so much easier. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important, guys, to just really to follow the process and understand that with what we do. Oh, hold on. We got so much more power than traditional real estate investors. And so the conference call Dominique was talking about was she said that her husband, you know, it's gonna be contingent upon what he says, really, and he'll want to talk to his banker. And I said, oh, that is great. Yes, we want him to talk to his banker. And I said, as a matter of fact, when he goes to talk to the banker, I said, what we could do is we could do a 3-way conference call where it'll be me, your husband, and your banker. I said, because all the time, Maria, I said, now I've told you that, you know, they suppress this knowledge. So there's not a lot of real estate professionals that know how to do this stuff. So I've got to educate mortgage originators, loan officers all of the time. So I would have no problems talking with your husband and the banker so that we could get this done for you and get you where you needed to be. Boom. That cinched it up right there. We got to show them. We got to show them that, you know, we're not scared to talk to the banker. We're not scared to talk to the title company or to the lawyer. I also told her, I said, you know, when and if we come to an agreement, we're going to want you to go over this paperwork with your attorney, just so you can make sure, you know, that everybody is protected on both sides. So we absolutely recommend that you go over it with your attorney, and we can go over it with you and your attorney. It's the confidence. It's the confidence.
And you know what she
yes.
said? You know what she said?
What's that? What'd she say?
I don't have any attorneys in my family yet.
Yeah, that's what she said. And I said, yep, not yet. So, Jerry, you got any thoughts on that call, brother, or Clyde's situation?
Oh man, that just to start with Dominique's, you know, I could see, you know, the turning of the negotiating, where there was no give. It was like, well, you know, I'll just listen and we'll wait on y'all. And it was a mental joust of back and forth, especially with her understanding who she was dealing with and us understanding who we were talking to the whole time. So when Gene talks about their rapport building, I needed to be clear that is a very tenuous situation where it's a little bit here, a little bit there. Let's lay off and go back. A little bit here, a little bit there. There wasn't a rush to do anything, because a rush would have just turned her off.
Mm-hmm.
Would have turned her off. So I looked at my timer, because I try to contract for time. That's a true thing, contracting for time with prospects. And I looked and I said, we're closing in on that hour and we're still building rapport. That's interesting. But we needed that. But that set us apart from everyone she had spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's not a person that called her that took the time with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be the linchpin on this deal.
And that's what she said. Because she was, when I got there, she was like, why do we have to have a Zoom? Why do we have to have a face-to-face? I said, well, you know, that's what sets us apart. We're not an investor and we're not here to buy your home. We're here to partner with you. We are a family. This is a long-time partnership. And we want to make sure that both parties leave here satisfied. Ooh. And she said, okay, all right.
Sweet music. I love it. Mm-hmm. It sounded like you said it confidently too.
I did. I just was there. Yes. You see what a plug was? I was like, continue. The sun was greeting me today. He didn't say hi yesterday. I'm like, at this point, clean out your pool, sis.
Yep, that's what I'm about to say. And there's a pool in the backyard. So this is a great house. And that's what it's about, because listen, and the deal too for Tiff and Tad had messaged me in the Mighty Network about like the owner financing and stuff. And how to do that. So this is going to be one of those deals, because that's what cinched it up, was the deed of trust. Me talking to her about a deed of trust that would pretty much be a wrap around, okay, around the original. So that helped, but well.
Yeah, Gene, you spoke confidently about what she had already been through. And because like for me, when
with
I
the
was
other
talking to her
investors,
about it,
with the other investors.
no, you like the other investors. She was like, what sets us apart was that I came to her door day one, you know, like I was trying to like actually get to know her as a person and not like take something from her.
Yes.
But you got her in line when she was talking about like the deed of trust and stuff and how all that worked because she had already had a property that was seller financed before. And so by me not going through that process and having been blind to it, I wasn't able to come in and check her like, okay, well, this is how it's gonna work. This is what you think, but this is what. And so when you was able to go into that detail, that's what really got her like, oh, okay, this he know what he's talking about. Because at first, I don't know if you know this, when you were on the screen, they were hesitant because it was two males. You see, when the husband was like, who is that? Who is that other guy? You remember?
Did, because I forgot to introduce Jerry.
Yeah, Pablo.
Yep.
What you mean, Pablo?
But then, like I said,
Pablo.
Oh, I'm Pablo. Yeah, somebody. I think I got a name.
Right. I'm part of the team, clearly. But yeah, it got like real uncomfortable. But that's what I really feel like hooked her in because you spoke her language and you also let her know, hey, there is a better way. I get your way, but just think about it. I'm not pressuring you. Just open your mind to other options because I'm good regardless. I'm just trying to help you.
And that's what we told her. So what Dominique is referring to was this. So we were talking to her about a deed of trust. Okay. Not all states are deed of trust states. And the only thing, guys, that a deed of trust is just, it's a second mortgage. It's just a wraparound mortgage, guys. That's it. It's the same thing. Deed of trust, wraparound mortgage, same thing. Okay. Owner financing. And so it puts you in a position to, when a person has a deed of trust, they now have recourse, because with a subject to, there is no recourse. If we don't pay, the seller, the house still gets foreclosed on, we lose the house, but the seller has no recourse. Their credit is hit and they can't get the house back from us. The bank's going to come get it, but the seller can't. So she was saying, I had talked to her about the deed of trust, and owner financing. And she said, yeah, and we know all about that, I forget her husband's name, but we've been down that road before, and I'm just gonna call him Bob. Bob is really distrustful, just because he's been burned before. John. And I'm sitting there, what is it, John?
Yeah.
Okay, John is real. Well, that's a common one too. It might well be Bob. Shit. Anyway, sorry. But John is real distrustful because he's been burned before. And so, and she said, and she kind of threw in too, and I'm distrustful too. I said, well, hell, me too, really, I am too, and I said, rightfully so. I said, yeah, and you're right on those things. You're absolutely right. I said, but remember, I had mentioned earlier how some of this knowledge is suppressed. I said, so there's ways to do it in the way that we do it, which a lot of people don't. And I went into the whole subject to thing. And I told her, I said, nah, and you've gotta, if you get technical, guys, listen to me, please. Because we don't use techie jargon, subject to and deed of trust and recourse and what, honey?
Flowers.
Ella, I'll put water in your flowers later. Go ahead.
But they died already.
Ella, go ahead. Quit playing. Look at you. Trying me over there making a crazy face. This girl something else. She gonna be worse than me on YouTube. Lord have mercy. Anyway, so where was I at? Oh, if you get technical, right? Technical jargon, you've got to tell them. You've got to say, and I've said this so many times. Hey, I usually don't talk to people, like this with all the technical stuff. I said, but I can tell that you're, a high level person and you understand what I'm saying here. So, and then I go into some of the technical stuff. I pre-frame it with how smart they are and how they'll understand, of course. I never usually do this because people don't, but I know you will. So then I go into the subject 2. I said, your understanding of subject 2 is just a little, it's a little bit different. I said, because what will happen is the deed will come to us. We'll get the deed. And so you won't lose your homestead because now the deed is in our name. So when you get another property, you'll still be able to homestead it. And that was one of her concerns. Because she's like, well, if everything's still in our name, you know, we're still responsible for it. And I'm letting her go too while she's saying it. I'm like, yeah. And we're still responsible for it. And it's still in our name. And yep. And that's when when she stopped, I broke it down to her, how we get the deed. And then the mortgage stays in her name. I said, but with a deed of trust, what that does is makes it so if we don't pay, you get your house back. And then I said, with the money that we give you up front at closing, if we don't pay your mortgage payment, not only do you get to keep that money, you get your house back. I said, so really, you know, don't tell anybody I said this, but I would hope that the person wouldn't pay. Because I get all that money you gave me in the beginning, and then I get my house back. I said, you would just foreclose on us. I said, and this would never happen, but let's just say for the sake of an example that it did. As soon as we pay you this money up front, we don't make a mortgage payment. You would keep that money, and 3 months later, you would have your house back. So you could sell it again for a way lower price if you wanted to, because you got all our money. So it just makes sure that you're protected in this scenario, and it makes sure that we have skin in the game too. Ooh, I hope I didn't confuse y'all now, because y'all are getting some juice tonight. Y'all are getting some game.
I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. Hustle to the end. We some no-quitters.